What's up, guys? We're gonna be working on the Accord again today. So I'm gonna start off by the shifter cables. I gotta take the automatic shifter out. So I'm gonna hop into the car and take the center console apart and get the automatic shifter assembly out of there. And then we're gonna slowly attack this pile. I think I can get most of this installed today. And this is why you buy the right tools, because this guy, I don't know why, when I was hand tightening it in, it just started to go a little crooked, maybe a piece of dirt in there, so I'm going to clean it out. Luckily, I've got my master kit here, so I'm going to put some new threads, get it back together. It's in. Alright, let me show you. That was a mission. I already washed my hands. Solid black hands. Dude. Okay, cables are in there. It is tight. If you guys have not worked on Accords before, these things are tight in here. There's so much crap in here, especially the EX with all the extra, the AC, power steering, everything that's in there. But linkage is in. And it does shifty things. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and reverse. So we're good. Oh, stoked. There's 1, 2, 3, and a fourth one back here that's an automatic plug that you do not use. You can just tape them up, hide them, leave them where you want them, whatever. I'm going to use this one for the reverse switch since it's the most tucked one under here and it's a little bit longer than most. So I'm gonna cut it open, splice it, and then I'm just going to hook it up. I have the other 2 terminals of these, so I'm going to solder those on. Doesn't matter which way because it's just a switch, it's just completing a circuit. So gonna do that, and then the reverse switch will be done, and then I'll film the other side when we get into the cabin, and that saves us the hassle of running 2 wires from there all the way in through the car and out through the firewall under the dash. It's already ran for us through the factory harness, so we'll just find the other side, and that's what we'll use over there. This is how it should look when it's all done. So I wrapped it up with electrical tape, and then it plugs right in. Boom. Where this guy ran his subwire, I gotta cut this, pull it out, because that's exactly where the clutch goes. You know, last minute, decided not to cut it. It wasn't that bad. I had to peel up the carpet anyways later on, so I just pulled the wire straight through. Just took a couple minutes. So that way we can reuse this. I'll just run it back to the trunk because everything's already wired for subs in this car. So might as well reuse that. There it is. It's just loose right now, but we got the master cylinder in there. It's getting pretty cramped in here. I'm going to remove the other pedals now. Kind of cut away as best as I could with a razor blade to get that area good. Yes, I did drill the hole a little bit bigger, but it was the smallest size hole saw that I had. Removed the padding that was up there underneath the cowl here on the dash, and I'm gonna have to peel that away a little bit too. Gotta straighten this thing out a little bit, but this is gonna go up there, and then we'll have both of the bolts down here and the one bolt up there. Clutch pedal will be solid. We'll get the manual pedals in here because we need this big brake pedal out of the way, and then we're good to go. Drop the steering column. There's definitely not enough room if you don't drop the steering column, so got it all unbolted. You got to push the brake booster way back, so I just wedged a pry bar in there. This is the same technique I did at the junkyard, and I totally left this in the junkyard where it was. I went back and I got it. So if you're doing that, don't forget your pry bar. But that pulls the booster forward to get all the bolts out of the way. And now we've got both of our pedals, the automatic pedal assembly and the manual pedal assembly. But the difference is that and that. But the pedal is the exact same for the gas pedal. So we're going to take the automatic one, unbolt it here, or undo the little clip, swap it out over to the manual one, and then we'll have a smaller brake pedal. There we go. Automatic gas pedal on the manual brake pedal assembly. Alright, that's starting to look better. Steering column's back up in there. Pedal assembly's all the way in there, connected. Throttle cable's connected, brakes connected, brake switch is adjusted. Now we have plenty of room to get the clutch pedal in there, and we can start getting ready to prep for that and weld that bracket in there. Got the clutch line in, got this guy on eBay for like 45 bucks. Forget the brand name, but it's a pretty good one. Stainless steel. I already made sure that it fits. Throw on the slave here, run that cable this way, tucked underneath the manifold, up into this area, and then that's where the master cylinder will be. So before I went and tightened the pedal assembly in there, I decided to go ahead and throw the new clutch line on right now. So it's tight on this end, and then I ran it. You can see it kind of tucked it underneath the manifold, and then I have it just right here for now. So it'll go down there once we put the slave in. But yeah, just decided to get that done so I wasn't like pulling my hair out trying to tighten that thing up down there when it was, you know, it was all mounted. So it was loose, so it was easier to do that. So had to cut away a decent amount to get it in here. Now I gotta scuff it up. So I tried it with the welder, however, I went with the sheet metal screws instead because there was just such a fire hazard. This is all dry and there's so many cobwebs and everything. It was just too sketch. So I tried to do a little bit and I tacked it there, but it was too scary. So went overboard, sent a couple extras on each side, and that thing is snug on there. So clutch pedal's installed. Also, you're gonna need a couple washers here, or spacers. You can get them from the donor car if you can. Luckily, I had some Delrin plastic spacers laying around, so I used those. And that should do her. There it is, good to go. Sheet metal screws, 6 or 7 of them. I think maybe even 8, I'm not sure, but it's solid. This thing, no play, no fluid in it yet, but yeah, just listen to that. That's solid. So good to go. Sweet. And then throttle cable's good. Shifter's good. I think literally to bleeding the clutch, 3 wires in the center console area, the starter and the battery, the intake, and fluids, yes. And then we can start it up. Like, remind me if I forgot something, but I'm pretty sure that's all we need. So, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this one up here. Man, I know I was like, oh, maybe I could do this in a day. Life hit me, dude. It took me definitely 2 or 3 days. Yeah, stuff just kept happening. But anyways, it was dope. And yeah, so now I'm gonna hit you with some cool Jesus knowledge for the day. All right, let's find something. Guidance. Whether you turn to the right or the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. That was pretty good. So it's kind of like that little voice in your head, like the right voice, the good voice, God. You know, he's, you know, demon and God, or demon and the angel on your shoulder, talking in your head all the time. There's definitely days where you're on the wrong path and you're listening to that wrong voice in your head. But then there's also those days where you're going down a path you're not even too sure of, and you hear that voice, the angel in your head, saying, "This is where you're supposed to be going. Even though it feels uncomfortable, this is where you're supposed to be going." And you got to listen to it. And that is a good skill to learn, is to the wisdom to know the difference between those 2 voices in your head and which ones to act upon. I mean, it sounds very simple. I'm a very common sense guy. Like, I would like to just be like, oh yeah, that's easy. Boom, listen to the right one. Duh. But I mean, we're humans, guys, so, and girls, or whatever. But like, we're humans. Those 2 voices, good and bad, you're gonna hear them. And when you hear the right one, even if it feels weird, and you know it's good though, you'll know it's good. You'll hear it in the back of your head. You keep running with that thing, because you don't know where it's gonna take you. And God's gonna take you to some cool places. So anyways, God bless you all. Have a great day. Subscribe, like this video, comment, buy some of my merch, all that stuff. Anyways, peace.